Rose here from Pain Free Freedom. Thank you so much, Anne, for taking some time to share a bit about your experience working together. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So I would love to hear a little bit about where you were in your symptoms, kind of what was going on. What are some of the things that you tried before you made it to the Pain Free Freedom method?
I tried so many things. I have had this chronic pain, or I had this chronic pain, really very debilitating since 2018. And so I tried everything from physical therapy to chiropractic to dry needling to cupping to just like, basically everything, getting MRIs, x-rays, trying to figure out, like, get to the bottom of it. Yeah. So
I know I've been there. So
mhm.
I'm curious for you, when you came across this information, what was it where you had that moment where you're like, maybe my pain isn't physical? How did
Mhm.
that transition happen for you?
Well, I was starting to realize, the past couple of years, I was starting to realize that there was some connection between my mental health and how my body felt, and just like how I was doing emotionally. And I was just realizing that there were connections. And I wasn't exactly sure how it all worked. And I just didn't have like the resources that I needed to understand it. But I was starting to like put some things together in my life, and I was starting to make some connections. And so then when I saw, I think, yeah, I came across this on Instagram, and I saw like that, that this program is all about the connection between emotions and your mental health and your body. I was like, oh, that sounds like exactly what I'm going through. Especially because all of these physical treatments were not really getting me anywhere. Like, they might help for a time and like help me manage the pain. But I was like, I had been so discouraged because I was like, this is probably going to be my life now forever. Just like managing the pain, having some times where I feel better, and then just feeling terrible again, and like just having all those ups and downs. So I think it really stood out to me, especially when you were talking about like, this gets down to the root of your pain, like where it started. And yeah, it just really, I think those things just really stood out to me. And I was like, yeah, I want to get down to the bottom of this pain. I want to get to the root of it. And I know that it is something emotional and mental. So yeah.
That's a huge step. I know in my journey, it took me years of trying all of the physical thing, about 6 years, before
Mhm.
realizing like, okay, all right, well, if none of the physical things are working, then it has to be something else. So
Mhm.
I'm curious if you would share a little bit about your biggest breakthroughs, your biggest moments of being able to do stuff that you love. What have you gotten back to?
Yeah. So a lot of things. I remember that when I first talked to you, Rose, like 2 months ago, which is this is just 2 months ago. So it's really not very long ago. I remember telling you that I couldn't play piano for longer than 15 minutes before being in like severe pain. And I mean, that's one of my passions. Like, this chronic pain was like getting in the way of me being able to like fulfill the things that I love to do in my life. So yeah, including like playing piano and doing creative things like that. So yeah, I remember telling you like, I was so upset and frustrated that I couldn't play the piano for more than 15 minutes. And then one of the big like breakthrough moments for me was I actually ended up recording a bunch of my original piano music about 2 weeks ago. And I played piano for like 3 hours straight, and I didn't have any symptoms at all. So that was like, I mean, I was just like, this is unbelievable. Like, I mean, this is like my new life is starting. That's what it feels like. I mean, and that's what it is. It's not just what it feels like. That's what it is. And like, yeah, there are just things like that that keep happening where I look back at where I was 2 months ago, and I'm like, wow, I am in such a better place. But I think like also not just physical changes, but I'm just noticing like my outlook on life and on myself. And like, I think the biggest thing is like my believing in my self-worth so much more, because that's really what this program is about. Because I think that is what I've realized was like not there really before, was like believing in my worth and in my value. And that's like what kind of led me to suppress my emotions so much, and what led to the pain being stuck in my body, like this emotional pain really. So I think just knowing that like my voice matters, my thoughts matter, my feelings matter, and yeah, just like owning every part of who I am and like celebrating who I am. Yeah, those are just like huge changes that have been happening, and it's also connected. Like the more I believe those things about myself, the better I feel physically. So
Mm.
yeah.
Tell me about the first moment when you realized you did not have pain in your body.
Um, let's see. I'm trying to remember when the first moment was. Like obviously the piano one was a huge one. But I feel like there was definitely a moment before that. Yeah, I think it was actually like, it was probably, I think it was after meditating one time. That's when I like, what I've realized has been like, I think it was actually after doing an inner child meditation, maybe. That was like when I felt like I really connected with myself emotionally, like for the first time, like I had like truly really met myself like where I needed to be met. And I think after that meditation, I was like, wow, I actually feel really good right now. That was probably about a month and a half ago or something. So that was like pretty early on in the program. Like I had just like that moment where I was like, whoa, I feel really good. And it's not like everything just like disappeared forever after that moment. Like there are definitely like, there are like ups and downs and everything. But when I had that moment, I was like, okay, my body is okay. Like my body is, there's nothing wrong with my body, because I just had that moment where I felt good. So, and then there are just like increasingly more moments like that. And yeah, it's pretty like, it's also pretty drastic. Like when, even if there's like a moment where something is flaring up, I can like, I know how to calm myself down now, and like calm my nervous system down. And I have like different techniques from this program to help me do that. So yeah, I experienced that a lot, where like something might be kind of flared up, and then I know how to calm myself down, and then I feel really good again. So it's like all about getting myself back to like that kind of grounded place where where I know I'm okay and my body isn't broken. And yeah, and I'm like, I am healed. It's just like learning more and more like to believe that and to live that, I think. So
How
yeah.
surprised were you that it only took a couple months to get back to playing piano for hours on end?
I'm really surprised. I mean, I I definitely did not expect that at all. I think that a huge part also of like, even like my hesitation and like fear of like starting this program in the first place was like, I don't think I'm going to have any results. Like I was so scared that I wasn't, like before I made that decision, I was like, I don't think that like this is going to be something I experience. Like, I don't know, that just seems too good to be true, I think. So yeah, I think that there's still definitely, yeah, when it happened, there was still just that feeling like this is too good to be true. This can't be happening. So
I
yeah.
love that you're speaking to that, because that was so true for me as well. And for anyone listening to this who is still dealing with living in chronic pain, this feels made up. It feels like magic.
Mm-hmm.
And having lived it, it still feels like magic to me that there was a time in my life I was in so much pain I couldn't like carry a purse or walk upstairs. And
Mm-hmm.
now
Yeah.
I can
Yep.
do anything.
Mhm. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. And like like I'm increasingly just like able to do more and more things. Like I think, yeah, and I love that also your program is like very much about like finding the balance of like what you feel ready to do and what you feel comfortable doing. It's not like you should just go like hike Mount Everest now because you're fine. Like it's not like that. It's like, yeah, just like you will know when you're ready to do the next thing. And that's exactly how I feel. Like I'm still being like patient with myself, because I'm like, it's not like everything is 100% gone, but it's like I do have moments where it is where like I don't feel anything. And like that gives me so much hope. And like I don't just mean like moments, like no, they're like long periods of time where I feel really good. So yeah.
Yeah. So when you were first checking out this page or saw me on Instagram and you're like, ooh, I really want to be pain-free, but that sounds like magic. What
Mhm.
was it that allowed you to step through that fear and get to the place where you can play piano again?
Mm. Let me think. I think it was that, okay, so I think it's like that it really made so much sense to me when I watched your videos and when I heard about the process of how your body like internalizes that it's broken, how it like develops this pain, kind of like as a protective system, and yeah, just all of these different things, like it really just made sense to me. So I think the logical part of my brain was like, oh yeah, this makes so much sense. But then like the part of me that had been disappointed over and over and over again the past 4 years was like, well, that can't be true because it's just going to be another big disappointment. Like you've been disappointed so many times. So I think, yeah, it was just like those two parts of me that were like kind of going against each other. But then I think like really just talking through it with you over like that first call, I think just like really, I don't know, it just got me to that place where I was willing to just like listen to that logical part of my brain. Like, I think when you said like, yeah, you can get better, like just like so simply, like you have all of the criteria for this program, like you like all of the reasons why you have this pain, like yeah, they make you the exact right person for this program, and like you'll definitely get better. And like I don't know, I think just like that like very simple, like you know what you're doing, like you've seen this happen before. I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, I think I can like, okay, like I can believe that. So
I love the logical part of the brain. That was also such a big component for me, and why in the pain-free freedom method, the very first module that we get into is the neuroscience of pain and an update on how that works. Uh,
mhm,
because the only way to make it feel less like magic is to actually dig into the scientific studies
yes.
that show us like that it's not magic. People recover from pain all of the time. And
Mhm.
as long as you don't have a few very specific conditions, then you can get all the way back to pain free.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause really like I think what I've realized too is like your body like wants to heal. Like your body wants to be better. It's like um yeah, I think just realizing like it's when your mind and your body are kind of divided, like that they can't really heal, like your body can't heal. But when you're just like, okay, like I believe I can heal, so I'm going to let my body heal. It's just kind of like syncing your mind and body together, basically.
Mm,
So,
beautiful. So
yeah.
from what you understand now about pain compared to what you understood before you jumped in, if you were to speak directly to someone who's where you were, where they're like, okay, logically it makes sense, the brain, the nervous system, but at the same time, how could this possibly be? I've tried everything and nothing has worked. What would you say to them?
Um, I think I would say to them, like, you've tried everything. Like, I would say, I don't think you have tried everything. Like, because I thought I had tried everything, and this is completely different from everything I've tried. Like, this is not some I don't know, like medication or like physical like exercise. Like this is not, it's not like 10 steps to have no pain anymore. It's like this is like a completely new way of thinking about life, about your body, about yourself. Like it's really just like it's a whole new way of living. And when you do this, like when you make this choice, you will be so much happier and like so much just like healthier of a person in general. And like you'll realize yeah, that everything in your life is interconnected. I don't know. I would say something like that, because it's not just like one more thing to try. It's like, this is just a totally different way of living. That's so much better. So yeah.
I love that. I'm honored to hear that. And I think that's such
Yeah.
an important thing to bring up, because I think when people come across like, oh, curing chronic pain, it's like, okay, here are my 18 steps and I need to do this checklist. And that's
Mm-hmm.
not what it is. Like if you are in a place where your life is such that your brain and nervous system are stuck in danger mode, like a checklist is just not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really this comprehensive looking at all of the different aspects of your life so that you can bring yourself back into that safety and alignment, and ultimately your brain and nervous system can come back into regulation and can have those pain signals turned off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I think, oh, that reminds me of another thing you said that really, like, I think just hit home for me and kind of was a huge reason why I started really believing this could be possible. When you said, just like your brain and nervous system learn to be hypervigilant, they can unlearn to do that. Like, they can get back to where they started, like before this hypervigilance started, because it's really just the hypervigilance that has caused all of this. So, and it's not, yeah, it's like, there was a reason why you did that. Yeah, anyway, so I guess that just brought me back to that. Like, I was like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. Like, why wouldn't it be able to unlearn that? So yeah.
Amazing. Anything else you want to share while we're here?
Let me think. I feel like there was another thing I was gonna say. Oh, I think just that, yeah, I guess I just want to like add more of like how much, I don't know. There's just so much I could say, and I just want to thank you so much for, because
Thanks. Yeah, if
yeah,
you want to add anything more about like what's changed in your life, about pain or not about pain, as personal or impersonal as feels good to you, feel free
yeah,
to do.
yeah. I mean, I think just in general, like the biggest change is knowing that I'm worthy of, like, I don't know, I'm just worthy of goodness around me. Like, I can choose to do things that make me feel good. I can choose to do things that bring me joy. I can choose to say no to things that I don't enjoy. Like, and it's like such, that sounds so simple, but I think that as humans, we just like kind of don't realize that a lot of the time, like that it is that simple. That like, yeah, that you're worthy of like living the life that you want. And yeah, I think this program has just really taught me that. So yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much.